Hey guys, Fire here, and today, kind of just wanted to talk about this game, All-Star Tower Defense X. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with the situation with this game. It was very, oh, wow, okay. Dog. Alright, anyway, this game, I had very high hopes for it. But at the same time, before it even came out, I had a feeling that it wasn't gonna really be anything. The first All-Star game already was really ahead of its time. If they had just kept updating it and kept it up to date with like the modern, features from tower defense games, such as like unit managers and whatnot, I feel like All-Star would still have a place in the market right now. But the issue is that they decided they would make a whole new game. And this game just had so many issues, especially on release, that just instantly kind of killed it. Now, one of the biggest issues that I knew was just going to make me a lot less of a fan on, before the release even happened, was the fact that they released traits. Like, why are we releasing traits? I don't even remember how you trait reroll in this game. Oh, right, you gotta... Well, regardless, the point is, they released traits with the game, and honestly, traits is just a bad system. Now, if it was an actually, unique trait system, I feel like it would have been okay. Like, such as like not All-Star, Anime World Tower Defense and Final Fates. They have a very unique trait system where it's not just you get the one placement trait and there, that's it. Because most of the time in all these games, if they have a one placement trait, it's just the economic option. You want to get that because it's just going to be the cheapest. It's going to make your unit the strongest. And like at that point, why would you bother getting anything else? Now, All-Star tried to balance it out a little bit by making it 1.75 times more expensive, but that's not really going to solve the issue, because like if you got All-Star on like a for example 3 placement unit, it would still be cheaper to have All-Star than to place all 3 units, and you would still be getting all the damage from the 3 units in total. And like it just feels like there's no reason to get anything but All-Star. And then all the content in the game was balanced around All-Star. Well, at least it seemed like it. So if you didn't have an All-Star, you were either at an extreme disadvantage or just genuinely could not play the content at all. And like that was, again, at least it's a 0.2 and not a 0.1, but that doesn't really save the fact that it's, the most necessary trait in the game. There's some other units that want different traits. I don't really remember any such units, but I think like Ishtar was fine with Genesis. I don't remember. Cooler, I think, wanted Genesis. I do not remember. I haven't kept up with this game in such a long time. But the point is, the trait system in general was just terrible. I feel like tower defense games in general should just leave traits behind. It should be something that isn't included in these games, but I get it. It gets money, so it's like that's not going to ever happen. So most of these games will always have traits. It's just the unfortunate reality. But again, like I said, another issue is the fact that all the content was designed around having All-Star. If you didn't have All-Star, you were just done for. And that's not a good way to design your game, because if you want people to play, you have to at least balance it to where you're able to beat stages with having, the not 0.2% trait and whatnot. And like on release, you could do that pretty decently, except for maybe whatever that one mode, like the tower, or what, not tower, I do not remember what it was called, but this thing right here, this is like the only thing you were like really not able to beat on your own without any All-Stars, and that's pretty reasonable. I feel having that be the hardest content at the time, it was reasonable. But another issue is that in this current like tower defense state, I guess, like the current state of just how people play this game, you either macro or play solo in general or whatnot, and designing any, like, at least most of the content around playing multiplayer, such as that tower or whatever it was mode, the trials and whatnot. Sure, you theoretically can solo them, but you're gonna have a hard time doing so. And I feel like that's just an inherent issue with the fact that most people prefer to either play solo, that includes me, or just macro everything. And like, if you can't macro it, at least make it to where you can play it solo. But being unable to macro it, and well, I guess you theoretically can macro it, but again, they were really hard to macro and beat solo in general. And like having them both be like off the table is just such a bad design in the current market of tower defense games. It's just not fun. Sure, the original All-Star was more based around community and playing with other people, like with the raids and whatnot. And that's the thing, the game was very clearly meant to be played with other people. But this game feels like, at the start, it's definitely designed to be like soloed and whatnot. And then you get to like the trials and whatever that thing was, I don't remember, and whatnot. It's just, it feels like all of that. Okay, this is tower, my bad. I don't remember what that's called. It's like dungeon or something. I don't know, man. That's not the point. Again, it's just more people want to solo than not these days. So it's just really bad design to just have it where people have to play with other people, or at least borderline have to. And that's just not something that most people want to do these days. And that's one of the huge issues that this game had. And another issue is that it feels like on release they were missing a lot of the features that, you know, the original people that played the original All-Star liked, such as the I think souls, no, the orbs, yeah, the orb system. Most people in All-Star loved the orb system, and then it took them like an update or two to actually finally add them, and then they're the most lackluster things known to man. Like, look at this, you got 3 orbs versus like several that existed on release, and that's just not, it's just not good. To take away the features from the original game that most people absolutely love to have and use and whatnot, such as, again, the orbs, and I feel like there's more that I just can't remember off the top of my head. And like, on one hand, I am glad that they got rid of like the Stardust mechanic, but the Stardust mechanic also made their game a bit more, you know, unique. But at the same time, it's fine. It's not the biggest deal. But again, it's just, this game's died for a reason. Nobody plays it. I haven't seen anyone playing this game in several months. Like, I don't know anyone that does still play. And that's because the game just has stopped updating. Nobody cares to try to play it anymore. And honestly, I can't blame them. That's really all I wanted to say for this video. I wanted to go over what I personally feel happened to this game. Oh, another thing is that it felt very cash grabby. I don't know if any of them are in this. Yes, these summon thingies, these were extremely scummy. You just buy them, and you literally only get them, and it feels like they were trying to take advantage of FOMO because it's limited and there's only certain amounts that you can buy. And the thing is, these are literally just effects that play whenever you place a unit, and that's not cool. And then there's this, not this, where is it? This just feels like completely worthless. They had no reason to add this, and I don't see why they would bother. But yeah, that's really it. I did have hopes for this game, but those hopes were very quickly let down as soon as the game actually first came out. On release, the challenges were extremely painful to grind. Like, you would only have chances to get the specific kind of whatever, the ghosts, I think they are. You would only have certain, like a 40% chance to get it or whatnot, or a 25 and whatnot. And that's not fun, having a chance to get it and then needing like 5 of them is just incredibly annoying. It took so long to get characters and whatnot evolved. I'm glad that they did fix that, but it didn't fix the inherent flaws with the game's, like, you know, design that I've decided to talk about today. But regardless, that's going to be all, like, seriously this time. If you guys found it entertaining, or I guess insightful, please consider liking and subscribing, as it would help me out a lot. God, I can't speak. This typically happens like once in every video. It's kind of funny. But yeah, that's going to be all. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace.